Good evening. Welcome back. It is Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. We have a few birthdays to talk about and only a couple of events. I looked at the list forward and backward and only could find two events of significance in racing. Of course, mostly we talk about NASCAR, but anytime I see an IndyCar, an F1 race, or something of that like that comes up, we do mention it. On this date in 2004, Martin Truex Jr. won at Nazareth, and that would be the last Busch Series, now Xfinity, but Busch Series race run at Nazareth. And of course, the track is just fallen into a state of disrepair worse than what North Wilkesboro or Rockingham ever had happened. I can't remember what all the agreements were, but I think it had something to do maybe with Pocono and saying, no, we're oversaturating the racing market. But Nazareth was a very, very unique track. You know, it had 4, 5, 6 corners. Nobody really knows. It was very flat. Did have some severe crashes. Of course, Jeff Purvis's career-ending crash happened at that track. He did come back to run a Busch Series race there a few years later, so that way he could retire on his own terms. Never did run a cup race. They ran several truck races. IndyCar. IROC ran there a couple times. So, a lot of great racing there. Modifieds, Busch North, etc. And then on this date in 2021 at Circuit of the Americas, Chase Elliott won the cup race that was held in monsoon-like conditions and had several crashes and even had drivers questioning the sanctioning body. Why are we doing this? Why are we running? Excuse me. Why are we running in such horrible conditions? So I think NASCAR moving forward after that decided, well, if it's raining that hard, we won't race. We'll just race in damp conditions and not necessarily rain. Birthdays. Only got a couple of them that I have cards for, so we'll hit the ones that we don't. Born on this date in 1949, Mr. Jerry Sneva. Of course, he is the brother of Tom Sneva. Jerry made a few Indianapolis 500 starts. Also born on this date in 1972. I honestly thought I had a card of this guy, but I looked and I don't. Born on this date in 1972, former Formula One star Rubens Barrichello. Of course, he did come over, run, I believe did he run the Champ Car Series for like a year or two maybe? Because there was a lot of Formula One drivers that came over and ran a year or two of the Champ Car prior to them kind of being absorbed by the Indy Racing League. But Rubens Barrichello, of course, he did win one of the U.S. Grand Prix races at Indianapolis. Born on this date also in 1970, former IndyCar driver, Mr. Bryan Herta. Of course, Bryan is the father of Colton Herta. There's a little information. And these are these ridiculous skybox oversized cards. I do not like oversized cards. Whether it be skybox, 89 Bowman baseball, whoever, I just think they're tacky. They get damaged easy. They're hard to store. So I just like the traditional trading card size. I don't even really care much for the minis, like the ones that are half or three-quarter size. Let's just keep it standard, keep it simple, and keep it rolling. So our final birthday born on this date in 1963 is former SCCA Trans Am champion. Raced very shortly in Indy cars, just 3 or 4 races. Then he's raced in IROC a couple times, and then ended up in the NASCAR Cup Series with very moderate success. No wins, but a couple second-place finishes on the road courses. Mr. Wally Dallenbach. So we're going to start here in 1991. He ran a few races for Junie Donlevy. Then he was hired by Roush, ran for Roush in 92 and 93. Got his first top 5 in 92 at Watkins Glen, a 5th place. Then he had a 2nd place the next year. Then in 94, he moved to Petty Enterprises in the STP car. I think we have the one with him with his beard looking a little bit haggard there. He was released halfway through the 1994 season. But a little fun fact, Wally was the first driver after Richard Petty retired to run the number 43. Then 1996. 1995, Wally sat out, and he only ran 2 races. He ran the road course at Sonoma, and it was a number 45 car. I can't even remember who the owner was. And then in the Watkins Glen race, he ran for Bill Davis, finished second to Mark Martin. Probably should have won if not for a late race NASCAR caution. Funny how that works. In 1996, he moved to Bud Moore's team with the Hayes Modem sponsorship. 1997, part of 98, he ran for Felix Sabates with First Union colors. He was released partway in 98, then jumped over to the 25. 1998 it was numbered 50, but he took over in 1999, numbered 25, the Hendrick Motorsports Budweiser airbrushed car here. Then 2000, he went to this Galaxy Motorsports that was the remnants of the Butch Mock team, and they just had a rotation of sponsorships. And then he ended up in 2001 and 2-ish running a handful of Busch Series races. I want to say it was the Evernham team because it was the number 6 Dodge, but I think it was the Gordon Evernham Motorsports, but Gordon sold out because Ray went to Dodge and etc. etc. But he only ran a handful of races there. Now I do have the car cards also in the same order here. This was Talladega. This was his second start. He actually made his debut in Atlanta earlier that year. And this was the car that was involved in that crazy accident where Mark Martin got way up in the air. It's one of my favorite paint schemes here, the Keystone Beer Ford. Then there's the famous number 43 STP Pontiac that he drove. We got the Hayes Modems car. I always thought that was a really cool paint job, especially for that era. Then the 46 team, the First Union car. And one thing that was really cool that Felix Sabates did is he always had those numbers kind of subscript. You had one that was just a little lower than the other. Definitely very eye-catching. And then we have the, is it the 25 maybe, or the 50? It is the 25, but again, airbrushed out Budweiser. You can kind of see it a little bit there on the, actually that probably says GMAC Finance or something. I don't know what that says. But Budweiser airbrushed out. And here's one of the many car number 75 that he ran during the 2000 season for Galaxy Motorsports. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Sorry about that. My sinuses kind of been, they're a lot more clear now, but still having to deal with them. But that's our birthdays and events for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you come back tomorrow. Not sure what we're going to do just yet. Maybe we'll rip something because I don't have really anything else to show. I do have one of my redemptions that FedEx said was going to be here last night, but then they changed it, so maybe we just had an unhappy FedEx driver and he decided not to deliver it. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to show you one of my 3 redemptions that I have out. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.